The other day we were at the airport waiting for a flight, and I sat with a couple of guys. We were just talking about life, God, faith, and all the other things around it. So one of the guys actually said, "Oh, Freddie, I heard about the tribe. I'd like to visit sometime, and but I haven't been to church in about 3 years." Then the other guy said, "I haven't even been in over 5 years." And the third person said, "I kind of go to church, but I would say that I don't particularly identify with the church." Now, there's a word out there called the unchurched or dechurched. And these are new words we're hearing, but they basically describe a group of people today who are becoming disillusioned at church and no longer want to identify with either a denomination or either a church, or no longer attend altogether. Now, you might know a neighbor or a colleague or a sibling or a parent or someone who is going through this season of just pulling away from church or even calling it quits. So what do I do with my friend who no longer goes to church, or maybe is not compelled to identify with a denomination? I don't think that these are really things we should pressurize people about. There are many reasons. So if you want to get into this, first of all, we need to find out why they no longer go to church. And I think it's important, because if Christianity is a concept in your head and not a reality in your heart, going to church will always be a struggle. But from all indication, we must first of all establish that going to church is an amazing gift, because there are many things we get from community. So there is intimacy where you grow as a believer, but there is community where God is able to shape you, shape your character, you grow the fruits, you grow the gifts. So maturity is something that we achieve when we're in community. And Hebrews 10:25, of course, urges us not to forsake the gathering of the believers. So we are called to identify with church, we're called to go to church. But when you have someone who is no longer going, I think more importantly, don't just pressurize them to say, "I think you need to come with me, you have to come with me." Sometimes it's important to ask why they no longer go. We must open ourselves to the possibility that people are different. If your current church is no longer catering to your development, it's okay to say, "Okay, I want to find myself to grow somewhere else," and there's no crime in that. Secondly, it could possibly be that they've been hurt or there's politics in church. I mean, you can't take away the fact that wherever humans are, politics will be. I think for us who are pastors, the focus for us is to continue to love people through their journeys. And even when we want to discipline people or correct people, we do that in love. And it's more important to love people more than to just correct them and lose their friendship. So it's important to encourage people to, and much as possible, provide a safe place for the church to be a place where you can heal and grow. The third thing for many people who may not want to go to church anymore is to also ask the question as to, do they have an authentic faith? So I think when people get to a point where they're saying, "I want to take a step back to ask myself, why do I do the things I do? Why do I pray? Why do I worship? Why do I give? Why do I even go to church?" Because going to church is more than dancing to music, listening to a good sermon, and coming back home. It's really, first of all, an expression of the faith where you've identified a community where you can grow and serve. Reality of church is that church is not just a building, it's a people. Church is not just an institution, it's actually a family. It's not just an organization, it's an organism. So it's a living thing. But we cannot throw away the fact that even while there are no perfect churches, God works through the church to love us, to heal us. Let love be the centrality to which you do life. And so today I'll ask you the same question. Why are you no longer going to church? And it's time to consider coming back. God bless you.